Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Pixel, and today we'll be focusing on the divine masculine. So, the last video I did was about the divine feminine. We went into detail with that feminine power and all that jazz. So, today we're focusing on the divine masculine. So, usually I do start off my videos with channeled angel numbers, but today I only have one angel number. That is the angel number 606. So I actually went to the extent of looking it up and understanding what it means so that we can discuss it. It doesn't have to be in detail. I'll just tell you what I found and we'll leave it at that. So, angel number 606. It says the divine realm wants you to pay extra attention to your home life, your personal relationships, and your spiritual life too. We can all get caught up in the pursuit of success and focusing on the material aspects of our life. And while that is important, it isn't everything. Okay, we're gonna leave it there for the day. So, masculine energy. Today, the message is for the kings, the gods, the empress, right? Those who are ready and willing to step into their emperor energy, right? We spoke about the empresses, the queens, the goddesses. So now we're shifting the focus to the masculine. Masculine energy. So masculine energy is directional, it's stabilizing, and it's grounding. So if the feminine is the flow, the masculine is the container. If the feminine is the feeling, the masculine is the structure that holds it safely. Remember, it's not about gender, it's about energy. All right. So, a woman, remember we said that a man recognizes a woman as a portal, right? And we went deep into that. So, I'm not going to touch too much about it. So, some points will also touch on feminine energy, but that is just to compare the two and show you how, when they synchronized, how they work well together. Not going further into detail. If you want more details about the feminine, check out the previous video that I did, because I did go into detail with that. So, a woman doesn't recognize a masculine through words. She recognizes it through how she feels in his presence, right? So, remember, the masculine is driven by a few pointers, right? Direction, presence, emotional steadiness, integrity, and how he accepts his empress or feminine fully as who she is, right? Yeah, we'll go into detail with that. So now I want us to look at masculine energy at its highest, when it's at its most potent form, high vibrations, right? So a masculine that is at its highest and leading from a high vibrational point leads with clarity, not control. They protect without suffocating, and they act with intention, not impulse. They create safety through consistency. It doesn't just say, it backs up with action. So that is why I say that the feminine doesn't recognize the masculine through words. What you say doesn't hold weight. What you do does, because if you're consistent with your action, that will prove that whatever you said is actually true, right? You're being a man of your word. But you don't necessarily have to prove your point by doing it. You just have to show up fully and consistently as the man that you say that you are, right? And that will determine who you are altogether, right? So, yeah. So, healthy masculine energy shows up as consistency, emotional steadiness, communicates clearly, and takes initiative. They respect your boundaries and make you feel considered, right? A masculine in their divine energy naturally steps forward. A masculine is energized, whereas the feminine is magnetic. My bad. I wanted to say magnetized, but yeah, you get it. So, a feminine is magnetic. We spoke about this, how your magnetism attracts and brings forth what you are actually in alignment with. If you are on the right vibrations, though. Remember, the universe only understands frequencies, vibrations, and energy. So the energy that you give out will attract like. Remember the law of attraction. What you put out there, you will get the same. That is like attracting like, right? So, when a woman is aligned, she doesn't just see a man, She feels certain traits and that she finds valuable, right? Excuse me. So it's like I've been saying to you guys that a woman will, with a man, when we spoke about the feminine, they do see certain traits that she possesses, qualities, right? And which he finds valuable. And from there, he will take the step forward to say, okay, this person is aligned with the version of me that I am actively working on becoming or trying to step into, and then they will step forward and do that. So with a woman, they will recognize whenever they come and approach that, okay, this man possesses this and that, and then they will take things from there, saying, okay, this is the right direction, right? So let's just unpack them a little bit here. So the first one is direction. She senses this man knows where he's going, right? So it's like the portal, like, okay, this portal is leading me to this. But with the portal, when it looks at the masculine, it's like, okay, so this person is headed in the same direction as I am. That is alignment, right? And then they take things from there. So, not perfectly, but as he has intention, he makes decisions and he doesn't drift. That grounded direction feels like safety, not control. And the second one is presence, not just attention. A lot of men can give attention, but very few can give presence, right? Presence feels like he is fully there when he is with you. Not distracted, not half in. You don't have to compete for his awareness. His energy lands, it doesn't scatter, right? And then we have emotional steadiness. Now, this is not him being emotionally numb or not being emotionally available or not having any emotions altogether, but he is not ruled by them. He doesn't collapse under pressure and he can hold space without becoming unstable. To a feminine woman, that feels like I can soften here. Remember, that is one of the powers of the feminine, softness. So if you don't feel the ability to be soft and fully allow yourself to let go and feel like, okay, this is a safe space for me to be my authentic self without feeling like I will be villainized, judged, or controlled in any way, then you won't feel safe to soften in any way, right? And then we also have integrity. Oh, this is a big one. This one is a big one. She recognizes his words match his actions. This is what I was telling you about. You don't just say things, because there's so many men who are very good at saying so much. But then when it comes to action, they don't match, they don't align. So you see that, okay, this person is not a man of his word. And the inconsistency gives it away. It shows that you're dealing with someone who doesn't know the direction that they're headed in, right? So with integrity, they recognize that how your words match your actions, how you keep being consistent, and how you stand on what you say. Because masculine energy is structure plus truth in motion. So you're able to show that through consistency, through keeping your words, keeping your promises, and keeping to what you've been saying, right? Not just saying things for the fun of it, just to butter me up and all that jazz, right? So the last one has to be he sees her fully without trying to control her. He doesn't dim her, crush her, or try to reshape her. Instead, he allows her to be fully herself and meet her there. This is important. I think I did touch this on the feminine, where you allow her to be who she is authentically. That is her knowing that this is a safe space for me. This is comfortable for me to express my authenticity without feeling like I'm judged or without having to shrink and turn into someone that I am not, right? Just to keep you. I mean, why would I have to shrink myself to keep you? That means that we're not aligned, period. Let me tell you. Did I tell you about the lady at the cafe? Let me just tell you a little story. So there was this lady who used to work at a cafe, right? She was pretty. She had her ish all together, her ish figured out. So this man walks into the cafe and he eyes her and he's like, okay, that portal seems like one that I would like to go through, right? That timeline is one that I'm actually invested in going into. And then he approaches her, expresses his interest, tells her that he likes her and would like to get to know her on a deeper level. She wasn't keen at first. She was like, I don't know. So that goes back to her wanting to see if that masculine is actually at its highest or just like any other masculine who just saw a pretty face and just thought, okay, that's mine. So she didn't give in at first. She just kept playing it cool because she wasn't interested in it. Not that she was trying to play hard to get, but she was standing on business that, okay, I don't think you and I align in any way, so I'm not going to try and force myself into something that doesn't feel right for me. She was standing in her feminine power and understanding that she has the right to say no. All right. So this man was persistent, but not in a forceful way where he was taking her power away and making her do what she didn't want to do or wasn't comfortable to do, but he was just like expressing his interest and showing that you are the portal that I want to walk through. And I only have eyes for this portal, and I will keep coming back until I get to experience this portal. But he wasn't being forceful. He was doing this thing, playing it cool. At some point, he even bought lunch for the entire staff. I think he was just trying to gain points. I don't know. I mean, I'm only speaking from my perspective. We never know what was going on in his head. But yeah, and then eventually, after he was persistent, he kept coming back. He kept showing consistency that I like you and I want to get to know you. And I'm going to keep coming back until I get a piece of you. And like I said, he wasn't doing it aggressively or forcefully. He was just showing up as the masculine that he is, that I will keep showing up for you because you are the one I want. If he wasn't in his highest masculine energy, he would have just said, she's playing hard to get, F that, I'm out of here, right? But he didn't because he knew what he wanted. Remember, direction, one of the powers of the masculine. He knew the direction that he was headed to, and the portal that he encountered along that direction seemed like the right direction to go in. And then he kept going until he felt like that is where I'm going. So eventually she gave in and she took her precious time, right? And she thought to herself, you know what? Let me just give him a chance. I mean, sometimes we just have to see where things go. And if you feel that when you're in there, you feel like, okay, this is not for me, then you can easily pull back and decide, okay, this is not for me, and then just stop, right? But she tested the waters and said, okay, I'll go out on a date with you and see where this goes. And then they did. Ooh, child, if I tell you the transformation. Look, this might seem as if I'm trying to take away the power of the feminine, but I'm not. I will explain it further as I go, right? But for now, this is what I'm going to tell you. She accepted his proposal and went out with him. They got to know each other, and she actually realized that, okay, this is the masculine at its highest, and I can allow him to walk through my portal and have me as an experience because he is directional, he is stabilizing, and he is grounding, right? And then they went in, they got to know each other, and child, this lady just evolved. They both evolved in a way. But with her, I'm speaking more on her side because remember, this time we're focusing on the masculine energy, not more on the feminine. We did tell a few stories and a few pointers about the masculine and the feminine side, but now we're doing it on the masculine side. So she went from there. She went back to school. He took her back to school. She went to school. She started her own business. He bought her a car. She was flourishing. She prospered once she met him. And that is because she found the right man who understood the potential that she had. Now, like I said, that I'm not trying to take away from her, right? So the man recognized something in her and chose to invest his energy in that path. He saw her as a timeline of expansion. She already had that within her. He recognized that and knew that if I invest my energy into this person, it will not be energy. It will not be energy wasted. Rather, it will be energy well invested. And he was right because he made a decision to pursue and build. And he didn't just admire, he acted on it. Now, the feminine was the portal of potential, and the masculine was the force that chose, pursued, and built within that potential. So, what I am taking from the story is that the masculine actively chose the feminine. So, firstly, that he recognized her value, not created it. He saw a potential alignment and something worth investing in. He didn't just like her, he decided on her. And that's masculine energy at its highest, right? Remember, you don't just admire, you pursue, you actually see the direction and you go into it, right? So there was pursuit, there was consistency, and there was direction. So the transformation was mutual. Yes, he provided her with opportunities that opened doors, but she stepped into those opportunities and became the version that could sustain that life, right? Because not everyone is able to keep that. Some women would have just taken advantage and said, "Oh, he has money. Let me just use this money to make myself look pretty or do whatever," and waste it. But she knew that she had to invest in the right places, opportunities, and things, and be able to keep those things coming back. Because now she has a business. Not only is the money coming from his side, it's coming from her side too. Now they're able to build an empire together, right? So yeah, that's the story of the lady at the cafe. So the feminine is a portal, right? A portal of expansion and a portal of becoming. The masculine is the one who recognizes this. The masculine chooses and the masculine builds with intention. But the truth is the portal does not open to everyone. And not every builder can build without the right foundation. So this is I think this is why I needed to do this video, because I want you to understand that though I was born a female, I'm not only for females. Masculine energy does have a high potential too of becoming its highest, right? My focus here is alignment, not necessarily female and male. It's more invested in alignment and making you understand that alignment goes beyond just. That's why I emphasize on the fact that it has nothing to do with gender and everything to do with energy, right? So, a woman does not become valuable when a man invests in her. A man recognizes her worth and her value and chooses to invest where there is alignment. That's what I'm emphasizing on more than anything, alignment, right? So, the feminine holds the potential, the masculine brings the direction and the action. But both must be conscious for the outcome to thrive. If you invest in someone who doesn't want to be invested in or who doesn't have a direction, not necessarily a male, but a female too also has to have a direction, because you have to know who you want to be, who you are, who you actively becoming, the energy that you invest into yourself, right? And so there's that. So you both have to be willing and actively investing in the outcome, right? That way it will thrive. If only one person is feeding it, then they will eventually get drained. This is what I was emphasizing on. Wherever you invest your energy and there's no type of reciprocity, that's just energy wasted, because you're giving more than you're getting. So you empty in your cup and eventually you have nothing left for yourself. But if you're giving 50% and they're giving 50%, then they meet you where you are. That reciprocity will allow both parties to thrive, because energy is being filled from both angles. So when you go back and fill yourself up, you have enough to recharge and fill up again. And likewise for your partner, right? So yeah, let me not let me not drift too much. So become aligned with yourself. So when the right masculine recognizes you, it meets you with action, not confusion. This is for the ladies, the queens, right? So when a king steps forward and sees that, okay, this actually is an empress, someone I can build an empire with, they understand that you will be able to walk with them in the same direction that they headed in, right? Yes. So remember that not every woman is aligned for that level of masculinity, right? That masculine energy cannot be held by everyone, because a man who is intentional, disciplined, and purposeful cannot pour into a space that does not recognize his value, right? So you have to pay attention to that. It's like I was saying for the ladies, you have to understand that not every man that comes to you is coming with good intentions, right? And likewise for the masculine, not every woman that likes you, sees the value that you bring to the table. They might just probably like you for what they see, what you have, but don't understand the value, the depths of who you are, and how valuable you are to them altogether, and how the connection, if it's mutual, can thrive. Rather, they see how they can take more than they can give and how they can keep it balanced, right? So this goes back to what I was telling you about having good discernment, right? Yeah, so this is where discernment comes in. For the feminine, not every man deserves access to your energy, and for the masculine, not every woman is aligned with your vision. Pay attention to that. So, high vibrational masculine energy does not chase confusion, it does not entertain inconsistency, and it does not invest where there is no alignment. So that portal that is confused, inconsistent, and not aligned with the direction that they're going into is not worth investing in, right? So it is important for you to choose wisely, right? So he chooses wisely because he understands that where he invests his energy, that's the life that he will build. So remember that when two conscious people are choosing to show up as the best version of themselves, that's where transformation happens, not by chance, but by choice. So, my kings, my gods, my empress, I want to leave you with this one. Protect your energy, move with intention, and never settle for anything that is not aligned, because you will not be able to build with a woman who is not headed in the same direction as you are. Okay? So keep it real, keep it intentional, and pay attention. Pay attention. Even though the masculine are the ones that show up more with consistency. The females have to show you consistency too. Because if she is not consistent with what she says she's aligned with, then she's just lying to herself and you. So you'll just be heading in a confused lane and find yourself lost because you invested in someone who didn't even know where they were going, right? So yes, kings, empress, gods. Keep being the person that you are. Keep evolving. Keep investing in yourself. And it's like I said in my last video. Sorry. I'm not saying that a man cannot thrive on their own. They need a woman to thrive. That's not what I'm saying. Do not get it wrong. But I need you to understand that in as much as the feminine possesses so much power, you possess so much power as well. Because you bring that direction, you bring that action, you bring that consistency, and you direct them in the right place. So it's like, what's the best way to put this? So it's like the woman saying, "This is the portal. This is where I am. This is who I am. This is the direction that I'm heading." And the masculine saying, "I see where you're headed, and I will direct us there." Right? So yeah, let me try and not make this too long. Thank you so much for your presence, your time, and your energy. It is always very much appreciated. I hope that you did stay for the entire duration of the video and you continue to take a look at the content provided because it is for those who are aligned. See you soon, and remember, you are a child of the divine, so act accordingly. Okay, bye now.